So, 10 mistakes that you can do when you're doing landscape photography during winter. The first mistake that you can do is to ignore the white balance. During winter, images tend to go towards blue a little bit more than it's needed, or towards orange yellow. So you need a balance between these two. You need to have the white of the snow, basically. And this situation doesn't apply when you're photographing blue hour and when you really want to capture that blue feeling. And second mistake is to overexpose your scene and get the white of the snow clipped to the right side of the histogram. So overexposure usually occurs because in winter situations the camera tends to underexpose the scene, and sometimes you overcompensate for that. So pay attention not to have the scene underexposed or overexposed. You can count this as mistake number 2 and 3, or 2 and second 2. Mistake number 3 is ignoring lens care. So whenever it's snowing, it's advisable to have a way to clean your lens, because otherwise you're going to get blobs of unfocused snowflakes, and it also can damage your lens if it's not waterproof. So mistake number 3, it's often, I saw it during my workshops, in heavy snow people didn't protect their cameras and their lens, and they had problems. At a certain point some cameras refused to work anymore. Of course it didn't damage the camera worked fine after it got dried, but when you needed the most it didn't. And mistake number 4 is ignoring composition. Sometimes we get overwhelmed by the landscape. We see this beautiful snow that covers everything, and in a moment that it's so beautiful, it's very easy to get lost. So sometimes you ignore composition just because everything is covered by the snow. Mistake number 5 is not paying close attention to how the sky looks. Sometimes it looks really dramatic, but for example today it's simply gray. So in a situation like this you simply don't include the sky because it doesn't add to the image, and it also is a spot of contrast that can get the attention of the viewer from what you want to have in the photo. Mistake number 6, overestimating the battery life. In cold conditions, the battery doesn't last that much as in normal conditions, so make sure you have enough batteries with you if you want to enjoy your landscape photos. Mistake number 7, not understanding the high dynamic range that your photos are going to have during winter. The white of the snow and the dark shade of the trees create this problem, and also the brightness of the sky. So you need to pay attention to it. If the light is too hard, then you probably need 2 photos. If the histogram it has one of its ends or both ends clipped to the blacks and to the whites, you will need 2 exposures. So make sure you pay attention to the histogram to compensate for this mistake. Mistake number 8, not having a tripod with you. I think this is the most common mistake that I noticed in situations like this. There are lots of people that mistake the white of the snow with the overall brightness of the scene. The trees are going to get darker, and in many occasions you will probably need 2 exposures if the dynamic range of the photo is too high. And also when you go inside forests, you will still need a tripod because the light is going to be so dim because of the winter. Mistake number 9, not being dressed properly. This is very common. You either get overdressed and you're getting sweaty and then you're getting cold, or people get underdressed. They don't have enough warm clothing with them. A good tip would be to think in layering, to have more layers of clothing on you, and this way you have the ability to adjust how many layers you have in different situations. For example, when you're hiking up, then you can take some of those layers off, and when you're stopping you can put some clothes on you. Also winterproof jacket, waterproof jacket, waterproof gloves. I always carry 2 pairs of gloves, 2 or 3 hats, because I can get sweaty. So you need to think about these things because it can really damage the trip. And last, mistake number 10, not paying attention to your safety. In winter conditions it can be more dangerous to hike, not necessarily because of wildlife, but because of things that are hidden by the snow. You can get injured, so it's a good thing to hike with another person, but in my case it's very difficult since I'm doing this professionally. I'm hiking usually during the week, so it's not possible for me to have another person with me. But another measure of precaution that I have is that there is one other person that knows where I am. I also have, let me just show you, and I also have my Garmin watch with the maps of the area where I am. So also my phone is full battery when I'm going up. I also have a secondary battery that can power up my phone. So there are small things that you can do in order to maximize the damage in case of something bad happens. So this was it, 10 mistakes you can do in doing your landscape photos during winter. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can also learn more about landscape photography by reading and buying my ebook. The link is on the description, in the description of this video, and you can also join me for one of my workshops in Tuscany and in the Dolomites. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on photographing, because it's the only way that you can get better. Bye bye.